and her two sons die after taking refuge in an overgrown park. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack is live with more. And Jessica, I mean, it is a heartbreaking story.
Unbelievable. I'm not sure I've ever covered something quite like this. And the sheriff tonight saying that this is all indicative of a mental health crisis that 35-year-old Monica Cannady was in. And I want you to think about this. For about 2 days, she and her 3 children were wandering through Pontiac, barely clothed. We're talking about 10-year-old Lily, that's the daughter, 9-year-old Kyle, and 3-year-old Malik. Now, this all started about 3 weeks ago. The family says they noticed Monica started acting bizarrely, really something they hadn't seen before. Cut to Friday, the family really just wandering through the streets of Pontiac when they had a home. She lived in an apartment with those kids, and they had a house. On Saturday afternoon sometime, they showed up in the area of Branch and Gillespie. They were knocking on doors. Monica was telling these folks in the neighborhood that they were hungry. People tried to give her money. She wouldn't accept it, and that's when they started wandering into this overgrown area near Crystal Lake there. And she had told the kids that she believed that someone was after them, trying to kill them, that it was all a big conspiracy. That it was all a conspiracy or something like that. And that's when she told the kids to lay down, where they all laid down in this field. And the only one, sadly, that woke up was Lily. She put on her mom's coat and ran for help. And that's when police later discovered Monica with the 2 little boys there, just 9 and 3 years old. We talked to Monica's brother, who says that he had never seen anything like this from her. He had been searching all weekend. Let's take a listen.
They was amazing, so smart, and it's just so sad that they were so young. They didn't even get to experience life yet. I wouldn't blame her. I just want to know what happened, what was in her system. Like, I need answers to that so I can know what type of state of mind she was on. It's never, ever have been her.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard really pushing the mental health services in Oakland County at an earlier press conference. He did say that family did not reach out to the sheriff's office. They did get some 911 calls throughout the weekend of someone walking through Pontiac without many clothes on, not dressed appropriately, but they really didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle. Every time they would go out to that area, they'd be nowhere to be found. And that little girl, 10-year-old, brave little Lily, she said that her mom told her if anyone were to approach them, that they were to run. So really just a breakdown overall. You'll hear more from the sheriff on those mental health services and a little more on what happened coming up later at 6. But for now, reporting live, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, I was going to ask Jessica, I mean, it sounds like that during this apparent mental health episode, she did go to several people that at least would recognize that something wasn't quite right. It sounds like they did call 911 or at least try to alert somebody, but because they didn't have all the pieces, really nothing could be done.
Yeah, and the sheriff did say, you know, he's not blaming the family in any capacity. They did try to intervene, but really it had nothing. They hadn't seen this before. They didn't really know where to turn. And that's why the sheriff really pushing hard today. There are mental health services out there. You can call for yourself, for your family. We will put that information on our website because obviously we don't want to see this again.
Absolutely. Good to know. All right, Jessica, thank you.
Today is Tuesday. It is January the 17th. The year is 2023. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's wet, cold, and rainy. And as you all know, Grayson's over there on the DJ mix. He over there just mixing away on the door over there, scratching up that damn door. Because he won't out. I may let them out, but it just depends because it's kind of, the weather is wet and they were outside and running around in the rain. Now they supposed to be over there eating breakfast, but I guess that ain't. I guess they say, "Listen, y'all, it's showtime." They're like, "Oh shit, we got to make our annual appearance out of this." Ginger, this is unusual. Ginger over there sleep. Hold on. Oh, you dead damn mutts! Come out of here. No. Then they race over here. Ow. Then they over here. Then they over here. Just interrupting everything. Why? Come here. This is the bathroom. Why? You just determined you were going to just interrupt the video? Why? You weren't feeling too well last night. So I had to give him some medicine and put his ass to bed early. Now he's back to normal, back to everything just fine. He's hunky-dory now. Last night he was not feeling well. When I saw he wasn't running around, I said, something ain't right. So I knew he wasn't feeling too good. And this one, she wasn't letting him have it. She was attacking him. Like, what's wrong with you? She was hanging out. So, shoot. Ginger was attacking Grayson because Grayson wouldn't play back with him. So I said, okay, he's not doing too good. I gave him some medicine, put him in his cage. And this morning, they're back and they're feeling fine. So anyway, you all just saw that news report. Wow. I mean, I'm trying to unpack this. I want to start off by saying this. Black Americans, we are so, when it comes to mental health issues, for some odd reason, we tend to ignore our family members and friends who are having mental health issues. And then when something really, really goes awry, we sit back and say, well, nothing was going on. Everything was so perfect. Everything was great and just a wonderful person. I refuse to believe that. This woman had 3 kids. Somewhere along the way, somebody had to have seen some signs that this woman was having some severe mental health issues when she was a child, a teenager, an adult. I've seen it because let me tell you why I saw it in my own family, particularly with my oldest sister. And I would go to my mother and say, Mama, something wrong. We are really kind of crazy. My mother would just, let's pray about it. That's all we do is pray about it. And that was her, that didn't work out too good for nobody. But no, my mother was one of those people. She prayed about every damn thing. Wouldn't it have made more logical sense to go get my sister the help that she needed, especially when she was younger, before she got into being a teenager and an adult? But, so I refuse to believe that this woman who was running around this town with her children with no clothes on in the middle of winter in Michigan, no one knew this woman had, leading up to this, had serious mental health issues. I don't believe that. Y'all, we live in a fantasy world when it comes to mental health issues for some odd reason. When it comes to black families, it's a discussion that nobody wants to have, or we want to ignore it for whatever reasons. Or in the case of my mother, we just gonna pray about it. This woman had mental health issues, and she probably had more than likely she may have had them issues for decades before she had those children who. And no one intervened. I mean, I don't even know how you can intervene. I don't understand how all that works. But if a child was young, I have friends who work in the school system here in Georgia, and they have students who need to be on medications for various disorders, bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety, whatever. And these parents don't want to do that. I don't want my child on medication. And the children are up there terrorizing the school. It's almost like the parents don't understand that your child has a problem and need to be under the care and possibly on medications. But they don't want their children on these medications, and then these kids terrorize the school and later on go out and commit crimes and stuff. Then they sit back and say, well, nobody would help me. Nobody would help you because you didn't help your child yourself. Man, they got this bone running around over here. They'll let them chase after that. But it just is sad to me that nobody knew that this woman was having these mental health issues, and she had these kids, and nobody could intervene. Nobody wanted to call the state. Nobody wanted to. Her family members, they knew. They had to have seen the signs and had to have known something was wrong with this particular woman. They had to have known. And to ignore those signs and pretend as if it didn't exist. That didn't work out too well good for her health. So I don't know. Black people just have this tendency to just keep ignoring. And I know, I don't even want to go there, but I know white folks do it too, so I'll get that on out of the road. I know y'all can see y'all over there pecking away now. White folks do it too. Shit about this. We got all these major problems going on in our community. Got some serious mental health issues going on in the black community that we ain't. It's so funny because I drove into town. I went into town to take care of some business. And I was driving down the street. I would see these black guys walking down the street, just talking to themselves, walking up in the middle of the traffic. I got to the intersection of North Avenue. Those who know Atlanta, I got to the intersection of Ponce and Boulevard. And this woman, cars and traffic, this woman, she just walks into the street, and just walks across the street, walks in the middle of the cars and traffic, people slamming on brakes. She's just out there just walking away. Just crazy as fucking hell. I'm like, look at this crazy woman. She just strutting away. Get down! Get down off that couch, Grayson. I say get down. Why do you think... Get down, Grayson. Get down. Down. Why are you on this couch? So it makes you... And you go back over there and get on it again. Get out! Get down, Ginger. All right. Anyway, hold on. Trying to lock them in their perspective cages, not in there whining and complaining. After I was letting them run around it for a little while. Bad idea. But anyway, so they didn't crying and complaining, particularly Grayson in particular, after he went up on his couch. But anyway, as I was saying, I was driving into the city of Atlanta to take care of some business. And as I got closer into the city, you run into these characters running up and down these streets in the city of Atlanta. Practically on every corner. Just crazy people yelling, talking, singing, dancing, walking in the traffic, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And you have to wonder, well, what in the hell is going on? And you all cannot sit here and tell me you don't see this your damn self, because I saw it. I saw it every day when I lived in the city of Atlanta for decades. They walk down the streets without any regards to traffic coming by. There's a lot of, and these all black folks, y'all. Let's just keep it real. You might see a few white folks, but I can be honest, I ain't seen none that bad off. And I'm trying to think, I'm sure they exist, but I ain't never seen none like I see black folks wandering these streets in Atlanta. In many instances, you see the same characters walking up and down the streets for miles every day. And it's like, yeah, the same person got way out here. So when you see people walking and walking and walking and walking for miles, you just have to wonder, well, what is going on in their heads? But my friends who work for the school systems here say the problem is so severe and these parents don't want to deal with it. The parents don't want to give their children any type of medications, any type of treatment, any type of physical treatment, any type of mental health treatment. They just send them to school to cause havoc in these school systems. And these teachers and other students are terrorized by these young kids who have serious mental health problems that don't nobody want to deal with. Don't nobody want to acknowledge, mainly the parents. And they refuse. It's almost, I'll say, well, I don't know why the schools just don't say, okay, we can't have your child at the school. You're going to have to take them someplace else. We can't control them. You will not do what we suggested that you do. You won't get the help that this child needs. And see, these children grow up into adults. That's why I'm refusing to believe this young woman did not have those problems. I refuse to believe that she did not, that no one knew that she had these problems that's mentally, and it just out of the blue popped up. It could have, but nah, I'm not buying that one, black folks, y'all. My sister put a gun on my mother when she was about 15, 16 years of age. Got my father's gun and pulled it on my mother. This is back in the 80s. My mother, she immediately had my sister put into some type of treatment at mental health facilities because of her craziness. But what again my mother do? You gonna pray about it. Let a child pull a gun on me. My mother was insane. I'm about to pray about shit. Your ass gonna leave that house right now and go get some help because you just grabbed up a gun for no reason. Could have killed my mother. Of course, you bring it up to my mother today. She, I don't remember that. I'm like, oh, I remember it. I was standing right there watching. My mother was very good at deflecting. But, well, I don't know. But I just refuse to believe this woman froze to death outside. And this was in Pontiac, Michigan, in a field. I refuse to believe that people did not know, people who knew her family members in particularly, did not know this woman was having serious mental health issues. I just refuse to accept that. I mean, they have to have seen something over the years. And when these children, because I've seen these issues within my own family, the children suffer because of this. My sister's kids suffered because of her mental health issues that was never treated, never dealt with, never acknowledged. My sister was crazy. There's no other way to put it. She had some serious mental health issues she just wasn't saying. And this has been on for decades. And decades. And years. Until she, when she got on dialysis, the situation got even worse. Then she's on dialysis. She wouldn't stop drinking. She wouldn't stop smoking. She drank liquor. She wasn't supposed to do it. She didn't even want to live, obviously. It was crazy. It was really, really, really crazy watching my sister spiral like that. My sister at one point even tried to burn down the apartment building that she was living in with my niece. Set it on fire. My sister was crazy. And y'all, when I tell you she never had treatment, she never was under the care of a psychiatrist, never saw a psychologist, never, nothing, period. And she had 4 children, and then she created a whole hell of a lot of problems for them. However, so I saw that video of this woman wondering, the woman had a place to live, she had an apartment, here she was wandering in the streets, the kids would need, it's just terrible. But like I said, I know her family members, they knew something was wrong with that girl, they knew. Maybe they didn't know how to handle her. It's like I didn't know how to deal with my sister's issues. I was much too young at that time. Someone should have stepped in and took custody of those kids from my sister because she couldn't raise them. She just couldn't. They never went to school. They never had clean clothes, a place to stay. It was really, 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 really sad. We would get her apartment, a place to live. She'd be moving in the middle of the night. She was paranoia, just all kinds, you name it, y'all, it happened. I saw it with my own sister. So, anyway, I just wanted to do a video about that because I thought that was I thought that situation was very sad. And I do believe that her family members should have intervened when they realized when she was having those kids that she really probably should not have had those children. And I can imagine that there were some serious issues going on there. I don't know. It makes you wonder. Well, anyway, today is Tuesday, it's January 17th, the year is 2023. I look forward to reading you all's comments about this unfortunate incident that took place in Pontiac, Michigan, and that woman and those kids who lost their lives because of their mother. Serious mental health issues. But in the black community, we just keep ignoring it. We don't want to acknowledge it for some reason. I don't know the reason why. But for some reason, we don't want to acknowledge or accept there are some very serious mental health issues within our community. Some of our family members and friends are suffering from some various, very serious mental health issues that are going untreated, unacknowledged. And these people could live a normal, healthy life if they were able to get some type of help. I firmly believe Kanye West is a prime example of a person who is having a serious mental health breakdown and people are not paying attention, or the people surrounding him are ignoring what's going on with him. And I don't think it's going to end well for him at all. So, and, as a race of people, we've got to do better when it comes to treating our family members and friends, helping them get treatment and encouraging them to get treatment and encouraging them to get help. We can't just sit around praying about shit no more. It just ain't working, y'all. I don't need shit y'all got to say about prayer. If some of y'all were close to me, I'd slap the taste buds at your mouth when you talking about some prayer helps. Okay, well, pray on this slap coming across your damn face. Did it help you? I can't stand that fake bullshit. Because it does nothing for nobody. It doesn't help anyone at all. But again, today is Tuesday, January 17th, the year 2023. I'm about to get up, make bread. I got a lot of shit I need to do over here today. It's a rainy day in Georgia. Let me get back to the stuff I need to do. I got another video I want to do about later. We'll see if I have time. Anyway, I'm out of here and enjoy the rest of this beautiful Tuesday.